Welcome to Dreams and Thoughts, the podcast where we take a break from the hustle and bustle of life, pour ourselves a beverage of choice, and dive into meaningful conversations about the things that matter most to us. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from entertainment and culture to relationships and personal growth, all while sipping on our favorite drinks and sharing our thoughts in a comfortable, relaxed environment. So sit back, relax, let's raise our glasses as we look forward to great episodes of Drinks and Thoughts. Every thought is worth a shot. Drinks and Thoughts. It's fizzy entertainment.
Hi, welcome to Drinks and Thoughts, your favorite podcast where we talk about entertainment, lifestyle, and of course things that happen or matter to you and to us. Today we'll be talking about something very interesting, and that is the artist, the label, and of course the legal contract that binds them. The intricacies, the percentages, and of course what you need to know before you sign as an artist, and what responsibilities a record label has for you. Don't go away, we'll be back after a sip.
Drinks and Thoughts. Spirited conversations with deep thoughts. We stimulate both minds and palates, mixing drinks and ideas.
As usual, your favorite panelists, Denzel, Ngwane, Tatapong, beyela, and we're having a very exciting guest today, Tezo Abanda, who is a lawyer, and a lawyer not just like every other lawyer. He practices law, and of course he has a particular love and interest in entertainment, and he is one of, if not the only entertainment lawyer I know right now in Cameroon. And he spans from Cameroon, he practices in Cameroon, like in Nigeria, where he also schooled. Welcome to our show, Tezo.
Thank you.
And like it's our habit on Drinks and Thoughts, we are going to dive into our topic, which is the music business, the contracts with or legal obligations for artists like record labels. And so, Denzel, Ngwane,
Sir?
dive us deep.
All right. So on today's episode, we're looking at record labels, basically the relationship with artists and what they actually stand for. So basically, record labels came into existence because there was a need for the entertainment structure to actually have its place. Before there were record labels, music artists from different regions were interchanging their sounds, and there was no correlation. Artists were not making money, and the places where they were performing were not also getting revenue.
Right.
So at some point in time, a couple of execs met and decided to have a structure. A record label, at the basic definition, is simply a company that accompanies an artist in establishing their dreams. The record label promotes, distributes, and licenses an artist's sound. Basically, your sound, image, identity, and brand association is what a record label takes, funds, sells, and then gets profit from. Record labels basically are an institution or an association in the music industry that guides an artist's art till the end. Right. Musicians needed a platform where they could sell their music. Record labels needed a platform where they could get the artists, and this was what created record labels. There are very distinct rules for record labels. First of all, there are two types of record labels. There are indie record labels and there are major record labels. Indie labels are labels that are not funded by major corporations, while established record labels like Warner Music, Universal Music, Sony BMI are major corporations. These are the three major record labels that own the music industry, in quotes. Artists needed to have a platform where their music will reach the direct consumers, and the record labels needed an opportunity where they could get to the direct consumers as well, hence the art. Record labels have been around for as long as 1929. 1929 being very specific because that was the year of the Great Depression. And the Great Depression in the US was one led to the creation of business plans, because businesses that wanted loans needed to have a detailed document of what they actually wanted to do with the money. So record labels, primarily in the West, are the catalyst for an artist to succeed. Throughout history, the most successful artists have been signed, from Michael Jackson to Elvis Presley to the Beatles. Africa also has some major record labels who are not just producing, are also distributing.
Right.
Record labels have distribution, promotion, and licensing. Production in the sense that they take the craft of the music and they add elements of fusion and music inside. Distribution to the form that it could do it through traditional and modern media, radio, TV, blogs, blog spots, and social media. And then promotion, which is making the music available at every continental region. Record labels make sure that an artist is in the best position to succeed. They give an artist a publicist which is involved in creating a brand and image for the artist. They give him the 4 different types of music managers. The road manager, the artist manager, business manager, and the financial manager. They give him a public relations officer and a community manager who acts as a go-between for the artist and the audience. Record labels basically make sure that an artist's art reaches the last consumer. Basically, record labels are the gatekeepers of the industry because they foreshadow certain trends in music. Basically, what it comes to is the fact that record labels are there for a healthy, wealthy, and productive entertainment environment.
Well, thank you very much, Denzel. That's an insightful prelude to what we're going to be talking about today, which is record labels, artists, the contracts, and of course, where are the tricks, where are the hidden, the unspoken words in the contracts. We are having a legal mind today, and we are going to squeeze his thoughts, for us to see where the, basically have issues when it comes to contracts between artists and between record labels or distributors or artists and even managers. And so, Tezo, welcome again to our program.
Thank you.
Vividly, we're talking entertainment, we're talking music, and we're talking record labels. Where do you see Cameroon music today? How can you situate Cameroon music today in the industry, in the worldwide industry or in the industry of Africa?
In the worldwide industry, well, I'll situate Cameroon industry as a startup.
Okay.
It's a startup. It's a budding industry because it's at this point where we are realizing that most music stakeholders are considering this as a business, as a thing they can make.
Please, before you further develop, considering Cameroon music industry as a startup, so should we ignore the works that people like Manu Dibango did that have been sampled? For instance, So Makossa has been sampled by Rihanna, by Michael Jackson. There is Zangalewa with Shakira. There are other songs by Ekambi Briand also who has been sampled. So does it mean we have not been existing and that we're just starting up, or it is relative to pop music?
No, this is what I'll say. Most of the people you cited back then, the Cameroonian artists, right?
Yep.
But most of the people they were even signed to were not Cameroonian labels. Oh, you get. So it was a whole different business. It was not Cameroon taking the business, putting it out there, unless I'm mistaken. Because people like Manu Dibango, most of the Makossa icons that we have is from France. You get.
But we should not also forget that people like Ekambi Briand produced the first album for Angelique Kidjo.
Anyway, let me come to the music industry.
Of course, where we are today.
Where we are.
That was
in that light, we cannot ignore those people who have existed before, right? Or who are still even existing now, although their peak they may not still be at their peak.
Right.
Right. But now I'll talk of Cameroon music industry, just like we can look at neighboring Nigeria, right? Permit me. Because it's not like these are the first artists we're having in Nigeria.
Right.
We've had the Fela Kutis and other people who were right up there. But when we're talking Nigerian music industry now, we would date maybe like 15 years down the lane when they started rebranding.
In more hits.
Yes. So I'm looking at Cameroon industry now with the rebrand that we're also getting. That's why I'm calling it a startup.
Right.
Not ignoring the fact that
so Cameroon entertainment industry being a startup now. So how do we date back? We date back to 15, 20 years?
No. Just like 10 years, 2012, 2013.
Okay.
That's where I'll date it.
Okay. So from the start of Don't Forget, which is 2011,
Sure.
and then Stanley's Hempe 2013.
Yes, those are the revolutionary songs that I think.
And then Kolela Petit that went viral, and the artist
Diamond.
went diamond, and the artist disappeared after that. So, all right. So, Tatapong, let me find out from you vividly. Can you name 5 record labels just vividly in Cameroon?
It's 5 Cameroonian record labels.
Yes.
I will start with New Bell Music.
New Bell Music, of course. You start in one of them, the music videos of Jovi, Mela Jagate.
The Moko God.
Yes, which she went viral, you know. For what was that phrase again? Can you?
What?
It was in a wonder, right?
It was a wonder. Please say it. No, say it as a word.
Yes.
Come on,
Can you just no? First of all,
Before I sing Cash, I say Cash and I say Mela Jagate.
yes.
You all see what I'm about to say now? It's my cousin.
Okay.
She's in the video, but I don't know why everything was centered on me because
you are of course, you are the target of the video. Can you just give it for the pleasure of the viewers of Drinks and Talks?
I think it's Amanda Mourwamba.
Yeah.
Ça me va moi.
Yes.
Tu me parles de quoi?
Yes.
Mela Jagate.
Thank you.
Là, il vaut bien petit vélo la chenille. Bien si que ça n'a nama et moi ni.
Mela Jagate.
Give him money.
So,
I need the money now.
so
New Bell Music.
I have just for our viewers, what does that phrase actually mean?
It means boy. I'm an Maronese boy. Eh? Ça me veut money. It means give me money. Tu me parles de quoi? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Money
Then I
down.
gotta put the money down.
Mhm.
My bonus, I'll have my things to do. That money you promised me, I've programmed it in my mind. Petit vélo la fini. All this I've been telling me. You give me that money now.
Exclusive.
Like that secret. I'm not waiting. Like, okay, in front of your door.
Exclusive
And then
on
I'm-
Drinks and Thoughts.
Give me the money now.
Thank you very much for this for
also. But it's always the mom.
I think of what
Tatapong is talking.
Yeah.
Tatapong is talking about 5 record labels, and she begins with New Bell Music, which is owned by Jovi.
Yeah, we have different music. We have Yema,
Yema
By
owned
Loco.
by Loco.
Lions Entertainment,
Lion Productions. Yeah, Leo, Mr. Leo.
War Machine.
Wow, Miss
I love their logo.
Dex Willie.
Yes. And Steven's Music.
Steven's Music. So let's just wait. Just before we go there, what you talked about New Bell. New Bell has had Renis.
Yes.
He had Shea. He had Pascal. He had Tata.
Yes.
Shaku.
Sila.
He had Sila one time.
But he worked with a lot of people. He worked on Askia.
Yeah.
Yes, Magasco.
Yeah,
Oh,
with some-
Lord.
Shaku.
Yeah, Shaku, like right now.
Okay. And then you talked about Lion Production. Lion Production of Mr. Leo. It signed Kamini and Gomez, and recently signed a
Distribution.
distribution deal with Askia.
Right.
You're talking of Loco,
Yeah.
which
Yema.
until now we knew he was the lone artist of Yema until Alosh came out with
Kimali.
Kimali, which is co-written by
Loco.
Loco, but we don't. I've never had any official announcement of Yema signing. It could just be maybe a co-production
Okay.
deal with Alosh, and then
War Machine.
One Machine Dex Willie, who founded Tenor.
And a barrel jet.
Have
Average.
yes, and you will always hear the signature War Machine.
Boza.
Okay, beautiful.
Steven's Music.
Steven's music that that's began
Oh,
with Gasha,
Yes.
Daphne, Eube, Shura, Empro,
Wow.
Boytak,
Yeah.
Lipo, Sipo, sorry, Sipo.
Oh.
Yeah, that's 7 artists, yes, that has been on the
Fresh.
Steven's music. So, surprisingly, you didn't even call Alphabet a record, which has been a record label that owned by Salatier, which had Bless B,
Yeah.
had
Mr. Leo. Yeah.
had
And that's
Askia.
on a lot of projects.
Of course, they worked with and also Bless B. Bliss was also signed to Alpha Beta Records before he founded his Aquando empire. And so this is just a few
in the amazing
of the many that we find in our country today. And amongst these record labels, it's a lot of we have track records, but it's a lot of bridge of contracts. We don't have a few of these record labels have lasted five years with an artist. You know, Jovi didn't last. New Band Music didn't last with Magasco. They didn't last with Pascal. They didn't last with Askia.
They lasted with Renis, who recently announced that she has created her own labels in collaboration with New Bell Music. And all
they didn't last with Pascal. And
I think it's just Tata and Renis.
Tata, there is she.
She left a while ago.
She left. So, you know, it's a thing, you know, about record labels and artists. For instance, Steven's Music began with Gasha. They fell out, you know, along the way. They've lasted till date with Daphne, but it's more than a year we haven't heard from Daphne and Steven's Music. There was an album in the making which has never saw or haven't seen.
Really her best life.
He hasn't seen the light of day. Steven's Music signed a Wube. They did an album, did the launching of the album, and it ended after the launch of the album. There is Shura. There is M-Pro, who has never gone pro. There is there is also Boy Tag and his tag team, which we've not seen Boy Tag, you know, and his tag team actually tagging, you know, a lot of shows or having him, you know, get to the limelight. And so same like War Machine. War Machine began with Tenor. Tenor moved. War Machine got to Aveiro, just 2 songs, and they parted ways. Tezo, is it? I don't know. Didn't these people have binding contracts, or who went wrong where? What do you think is the problem? Is it that they didn't sign contracts and they were working like Mr. Liu said it was family? Him and Kamini and Gomez, that it was family. And a lot of record labels tend to say they're just helping some people. So where do you think the problem is?
Yeah, your last phrase, right? A lot of record labels tend to say they're just helping. Like, they start up as though it's just, they give the impression to the person that, look, we just want to help you, you see. And the person comes on board, also knows that, okay, this is a ground friend or a ground sir who is trying to help me.
Correct.
Let me do my own part. But when money sets in, I think that's where the confusion starts. Because in terms of who's bringing what, okay, sometimes they bring what they're bringing. But when it's time for distribution of money, because sometimes the artists don't actually know that there's going to be money in this thing. Sometimes the record label don't actually know that there's going to be money. When the money starts, when the business or the commercialization starts, I think that's where the problem actually starts. Then they go back now to start looking at, but we signed a contract. Then they're like, oh, but you told me this was family. But you say, no, yeah, but there's a contract, you see. And they go to look at the contract and they realize that, especially on the part of the artists, they signed a lot of things that they do not understand. You get. And the record label now is rightfully trying to regain what is invested as per the contract.
Right.
Most often, that's what they try to do. The artist is not okay. He feels that, no, you're exploiting me, you're cheating me or something like that.
It's started. As
Not cheating on me, cheating, you know.
what is wrong? The artist says it's talent.
It's a wedding, it's a marriage.
Yes.
It needs more.
It's a marriage.
It's true. It's true that the artist is bringing in his talent, right? But you need to market that talent.
Right.
Yes, you need to market the talent, and it takes a lot of resources. It's just like you have. We're talking of Africa, right? And they say Africa has a lot of resources. But until you invest those resources, the invest finance, you will not tap those resources. So the artist has that resource in him. If there's nobody who's going to invest, he's not going to tap the resources. And generally, the artist will not have the finance at the beginning. It's just a lot of investment. So the record label comes with the investment, but now they don't make it clear from the beginning that this is business. for the artist to take it serious. I've had experiences where an artist calls me to review a contract.
Right.
And the label is like, no, why do you have to call a lawyer? It's not as serious as that. They're like, no, you don't really need to. And some artists get convinced and they're like, no, okay, maybe I don't really need the lawyer and so on.
Let me just take this my girlfriend, let's go.
Let's just walk, it's family.
And we sign.
But along the line, money comes in.
All right. And next thing you know, we receive a post on Facebook. Oh, this artist is this time to my label. If you do anything with this artist, is against me. And when you want to think about the binding rules or the binding phrases of that contract, sometimes I know a contract is an agreement.
Yes.
But if a structure provides itself as a record label, it means it is like a company and it's supposed to have some sort of registration or legal obligations to run like a company and be able to declare taxes. So how legal is a record label supposed to be?
Okay. Let's take it from the contract.
Right.
To enter into a contract, right, you must have the judicial capacity. Judicial capacity as you must be a person recognized by the law, either as a physical person or as a moral person.
Yeah.
A physical person is a human being like you and I. We all have birth certificates, ID cards. The law has recognized us. They know that this person exists. So when you're signing a contract between me, Tezo Abanda, and ABC record label, not between me and the owner of the record label,
right?
But between me and the record label, what gives that record label the judicial capacity to enter into that contract? Generally, as a moral person, he has to be registered as a business.
Even though in the contract it states ABC Records represented by.
Yes. If you're stating represented by, it means it's not the person that is representing that is entering into the contract. ABC Records.
Right.
And if you enter into a contract with ABC Records and ABC Records is not recognized by the law, it's like you enter into a contract with nobody.
Oh, that means if you signed a record label, young artists and their viewers, from a legal point of view, Tezo is telling us that if you sign a contract with a record label, which is not a registered moral entity in respect to our jurisdiction or out of this jurisdiction, but if they don't have a legal status, your contract might be null and void.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
There are other situations in which, mostly in the common law jurisdiction, rules of equity and so on could try to explain, but everything being equal, generally, you've signed a contract with nobody.
Wow. So a lot of these record labels on Facebook that you have just logos and you sign contracts with artists, we are informing you today that it is null and void. Stop threatening these young people. You are not an official, legal, binding institution, and you don't have the capacity to sign a contract with an artist.
Yes. So, okay, continuing with the points, right? Now, the issue is going to be how do you get it legal?
Right.
It's a business. You have to go to, in Cameroon, you have to go to the company registration office. And
what's the name of?
You have, in French, you call it Centre de Formation et Création d'Entreprise. It's called Petit Moyen Entreprise.
Yeah. So you have to
Center for the Formality of Creation and Enterprises. They can guide you. You get. Otherwise, you meet a lawyer or a notary public. They will guide you. Because at the end of the day, the person who registered the company will be the commercial registry of the court of first instance of where you want your head office to be situated. So even if you take it to either of these offices, at the end of the day, that's where you get your documents from. So until you get into the commercial registry, what they call the Trade and Personal Property Right Registry. In French, you always find RCCM. Registre de Commerce et Crédit Mobilier. Those are the people who have the capacity, according to OHADA law, which operates in all OHADA member states, the capacity to register you as a business. So unless you're registered as a business, you don't have the capacity as a moral person. But then if you're an individual person who wants to invest in an artist's career. You're not a record label, you're just an investor, a person who's putting in money. Okay, that can still work.
So in this case, that contract should be Tezo, Abanda, and Chichi Ladislav getting into a music production or a music business.
Yes.
It shouldn't be one virtual company that doesn't exist.
Yes.
That is not legal as per Cameroonian jurisdiction.
Yes.
Or as in any other jurisdiction.
Any other jurisdiction, because it's okay to find a foreign investor who wants to invest in a Cameroonian artist. You know, it's a foreign business. They want to invest in a Cameroonian artist. It's possible. Very possible.
Okay. So,
But
my mouth. I'm struggling not to say this because it's a lot of girlfriends out there who call petit frères and tell them, okay, I want to change your life, I want to change your career, and this is my record label, I'm signing you. And they just bring one letterhead and they create a Facebook page. And they bring some copy and paste template contract and they get these boys to sign. And next thing, when one party is not, in line with all of the clauses of the contract, now they want to take legal actions. And most of the times, these people who always tell them, my company is registered in America, and they always add on the clause that if you want to take any legal actions against them, the jurisdiction is the USA.
Yes.
Especially when they know these young people they don't even own passports. So how they even come to America, not to talk of suing you, and then you just discover that an artist's career has been bound for 5 years, Denzel.
Go ahead, Denzel.
There's an example I know, a very, very close example, who did that. He signed 2 different record labels. He signed to 2 different record labels without telling the previous party. Yes. And he was banned. The contract held him up and he could not do music for 7 years. He's back right now, but he's trying as much as possible to actually be relevant. But it's such a problem. I think one of those artists are people like Awu who had a problem, who signed record labels and were not part. For example, Yayayo was released under One of a Kind. Before then, it was released on a different record label.
But he signed to DK.
Exactly. No, this is now.
Yes,
Right
now.
now.
Yayayo was under One of a Kind. But One of a Kind signed Awu when Awu was signed to a record label in Bamenda.
Yes.
I don't know if it's Manjong Music, who also had Fish. So One of a Kind had no idea that Awu was signed to Manjong, and Manjong don't know that Awu was signed to One of a Kind. So when Yayayo blew, I think it was Manjong who collected the royalties. One of a Kind knew, they had no idea what was happening. And then there was just so many things that also went wrong. I think after a while, people kept asking why he stopped doing music after Yayayo. Again, like you say, these people do not have passports, could not travel. The word he signed without reading the fine print.
yeah, what was the problem? He did not read, or he was aware of what he was doing.
I think the problem was that, first of all, he was aware, and the second thing was that the sign-up bonus was much. I think those are the 2 problems. The sign-up bonus was much, so he did not really bother reading all of them. And then he had a problem with the guys in Bamenda, moved to Douala, but the contract was not terminated legally. The contract was a 5-year contract. They were just the second year, and then they had a problem. We went out to these other guys. There are 2 videos of Yayayo. The first one has a different record label on it. The second one has One of a Kind. But it's the same song with 2 different videos.
No, I think the first video
Done by Ada.
The first video done by Ada was taken down.
Yes. The former record label did that because they're the ones who own the logins to the YouTube. And then the second one was done by Geranico, which starts now with One of a Kind.
Oh, wow.
But please, who decide the clause of a contract? Is it the label or the lawyer, or the label, lawyer, and artist?
No, label, lawyer, and artist. What's the contract? It's like we're sitting,
Yeah.
right? I tell you I need you for a service. You tell me, okay, these are my conditions. I tell you, okay, this is what I can offer. That's just the contract. We're discussing, we're agreeing, right? And at the end, we decide to put it down in writing.
So it means we've discussed everything I have to read. So I have no need to read.
No, you have to proofread.
Generally, right? Generally, they write sometimes what they do is that they draft and give you.
For you to read.
And then give your own proposal, your own opinion, right? You modifications, opinion, what do you think?
Okay.
So at the end, if you look at most contracts, towards the end, there's a clause not really
Dissolution of contract.
No, not dissolution per se, but something. There's a statement that says that I acknowledge to have read and understood this document,
Read and approved.
and therefore, pen
You sign.
signature. That's it. It comes at
And
the
they
end.
actually tell you to write with your rights in red
Yes,
and approved.
yes. So you're supposed to have read and understood,
Okay.
because a contract is your agreement.
In the case the artist don't have time to wait and has a lawyer.
You can give your lawyer to.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
representative.
And what I know is that most labels they always tell you that no, look, there's no time. Just sign.
Yeah, we need it tomorrow.
You need it, yeah, sometimes they give you and they need it urgent. But no, you have to, because you cannot sign what you don't understand.
Okay, Mr. Bliss. Okay, I'll say Mr. Bliss based on his experience in the middle of music. Yeah, in case of sanctions, I've seen a lot of labels that when they're separate from the artist, they cancel their songs, and their contents online.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
Was it part of the contract or is
It's
it
the intellectual property.
All right, there are different levels.
Wait.
There are different levels
Intellectual, yeah.
when you sign a contract or you're leasing, your intellectual property. There are some that they can buy everything from you.
Yeah.
They say, as we sign this song, we own all rights to the song, and you sign to give all of the rights
Artists accept
of
that.
the song.
You say we are masters.
Because let me tell you something. Most record labels are business people, and they come to you in your point of need and when you're hungry.
Exactly.
That's why one of the rules of getting into contracts or business deal is never sign or negotiate a contract when you're hungry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we are going to use you for desperation. See, for instance, you're an artist, nobody knows you. You're in one village, you're singing. And somebody comes and tells you, hey, this song you're singing, we can produce it. But you give me all the rights and I'll pay you 10 million. Bro,
10 million.
you're going to tell myself, I'm the one writing this song now. I can write another song.
If you don't do right song,
Exactly.
the neighbors they won't put.
The next thing, when you see that song, the way that song blows, because this person knows his algorithms and he knows where he can sell this song.
Exactly.
And he sells this song, and you discover it's going, you start lamenting 10 years later. Oh, these people exploited me. They came and took my song. They have where you signed of all of the rights for that song. Some you can sign your distribution that they're going to distribute, and you get this percentage out of it. And let me even put it this way. For every song that is produced, the money is distributed to a lot of people.
True.
There are a lot of people who have billions stacked in BMI, stacked in SASEM. They don't know. Because for every song, you write, you compose, a guitarist comes and plays, a music producer produces, another person mixes, another person masters.
Very long speech sheet.
It's
Very
a whole long list
Very long
of
speech.
people that when you're declaring the song, you fill a form. They say written by, you put the name.
Composed by,
Composed by,
guitar, sound,
recorded
bass,
by, mixed by.
mastered
If
by.
it is under a record label, you put the record label. If it's distributed by, it's licensed to this person, you put that. And so in other words, if 100K comes for that song, that money is being distributed to everybody and everybody has a percentage in it. A lot of people don't know about that. And so most people are here who have produced songs. And because you're not registered to these houses where you can collect your intellectual property rights, or what they call in droit voisin. What is droit voisin in English?
Neighboring rights.
Neighboring rights.
Just like that, yeah.
That name is
Copyrights and neighboring rights.
copyrights.
Yeah.
So when you're not the author, you're having the neighboring rights. Like just because you play the guitar in the song, you have the neighboring rights. Because you're an engineer who worked on it, because you're a producer, you collect the neighboring rights. So all of that money is not given to your record label, it's not given to the artist. It is stocked somewhere
Where is it somewhere?
because you are not registered under that association or company that collects rights and distributes.
Mr. Bliss, like,
Yeah, I want to, for better clarity, right, or understanding, all of what Bliss is talking about. Because when we take a song, music, you have the record label, right? You have the composer on the song. Now, a record label comes to a composer of a song to say, I need this musical composition to be recorded. You know, the composer or the songwriter, they're the same people. They license the song to the record label, like they give the record label permission to use the song. You could be the singer who wrote the song, right? You have to be at the beginning on one end as the music composer and songwriter. You license the song to the record label. The record label now uses you again, the singer, who is signed under the label. So you're two people. At the end of that, when the song is recorded, the record label now owns the recording. He owns the copyright to the recording. The master version. Yes. So only the record label has the right to multiply that master version, right? But it doesn't stop the fact that they're the music composers who are the only ones who have the right to the use of that song. A song could be, you can sing a song live, which is not recorded, for example. So if I'm using a songwriter's song to sing live, I have no business with record label, regardless of the fact that that song has been recorded. I have a business with the songwriter, the composers, because the one who have come up with the composition, the lyrics, that's what I'm using at that time. So you have royalties or rights or copyrights that belong to the songwriters, the composers, which the record label has no business with. And that's what Mr. Bliss is saying, that they are stuck somewhere by these organizations that collect those rights on your behalf. They are kept. Once you declare yourselves as the songwriters, the composers, whoever contributed anything,
automatically
the money comes.
But there is a trap to this, which a lot of record labels get to feed off because of the ignorance of artists, of producers, because when they go to declare the songs,
they declare like that.
The record label doesn't even put your name as the writer. He puts his name.
Yes.
He puts his name as music producer. He puts his name. And there are artists who have been victims, like Blanche Bailey. There was a time Blanche Bailey, almost all of her songs were being declared by somebody else. And the guy was collecting royalties for Blanche Bailey's songs. She didn't even know.
And as well.
Exactly.
She never says on Spotify 4 years ago. All her songs were on Spotify.
It was one individual who was doing that.
The same person.
Wow. I can talk about Magasco, for instance.
Yes.
Magasco was signed somewhere. But a lot, even Apple Music, Magasco did not know that his Apple Music royalties were not coming to him until Magasco had to try to declare, his songs, and had to prove that he was author and he is the Magasco before he could even get back his Apple Music account after he parted ways with Empire Company. So, in other words, there is a lot of music business knowledge that artists shouldn't limit themselves just to their art, but they should get to understand how music business operates and how record labels are supposed.
How do you get to understand when somebody gets to you 4 days before telling you I'm about to give 20 million, for
there's
example,
something that you said about
and sign this? It's a hungry factor.
No, there's something that you said about hungry artists, which is really funny. I think the most glaring example of that is what happened with Kiss Daniel. When Kiss Daniel was signed in 2012 to G Worldwide by Emperor Jeezy, he had no idea what they were doing. So he was getting 150,000 naira a month, and they were making over 8 million fans a month from his music. So when it was time to renegotiate, he found out that was what was happening, and the record label refused. The record label
in the contract.
The record label owns Kiss Daniel to the point that they owned his name. That's why the name changed from SS to ZZ. And then he had to. That's why even the old songs are no longer under his name. He cannot. If you attended his concerts in Douala, there are certain songs from G Worldwide that he cannot perform anymore because they are not his intellectual property. It's almost the same thing with Whiskey and Banky W. When they got to a point where Whiskey was making more money than the entire label, but his percentage was little as compared to how much was actually put in it. I would agree with me that when Whiskey left, EME
ended.
We are going to artists who don't even have logins. Petit Pays, there are 127 YouTube accounts with Petit Pays music. The people who helped Petit get back his rights were the guys of Belief Digital, David Isoga. Petit first manager in the 1990s had all of the logins. So what he would do was when Petit would upload songs, he would just copy and paste on the new website. So Petit was uploading music and they didn't even know what YouTube was. You just put a song, give, and then they go and play in CRTV.
Yeah.
David Lisoga and his team from Believe, they were able to recover almost 50 million francs in royalties for Petit alone, who had never.
That is very minimal.
I think he has 112 YouTube accounts that have his songs on them, scattered around.
Can you imagine how much songs Petit has and how much albums he has done for the last 40 years? Because Petit is he's doing his 40 years of music.
This year, yes.
Yeah. So it's really something that we need to be able to educate, young artists, and of course we need to educate more these adventurers who, because you have 5 million francs, to waste, you just say, no, I want to sign an artist. And next thing you go get a template and you look for one desperate young guy and you just bind him and, you say we're having a contract. So let us take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking figures. We're going to be talking percentages. And of course, some more legal binding terms in contract.
Drinks and thoughts. Spirited conversations with deep thoughts. We stimulate both minds and palates, mixing drinks and ideas.
I'll talk from my experience, what I've seen.
Right.
In Cameroon, generally the range is 70-30 or 80-20. So the label takes...
Please, 80-20 is not that thing that man is talking about. 80-20 in terms of revenue. That's what we're talking. Just to be clear.
Yeah, okay, 80-20, as in the label takes 80% of revenue and the artist takes 20% of revenue.
Right.
Or the label takes 70% of revenue, the artist takes 20%, 30% of revenue. However, generally, they want to take that percentage of revenue from everything, right? Sometimes the contract covers everything like music sales, merchandise,
performances,
visuals,
endorsement deals,
all of that, right? But my opinion is that an artist has a separate person. His image should be a separate person from his or her music recording,
right?
Or her voice, his or her voice. If I'm an artist, we have artists today who, in as much as they are singers and performers, they're actors and actresses too. So the record label's argument is that it's thanks to them that your image is known.
Right.
But there's some artists who it could be thanks to a movie. Because if I'm signed under an exclusive recording agreement, it doesn't stop me from acting in a movie. It stops me from
like wrote to me in Power.
Yes.
I believe Power gave him
visibility.
More visibility, and when he released his song and, it...
And sometimes the artist's personality, like Cardi B. At some point, Cardi B's personality was even more than her music. You just like watching her talk. Is that also thanks to the label?
It's not, it will not be thanks to the label. Some labels actually help artists.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that regardless of that fact, your business, your concern should be that master recording. Once it has been, it's producing it and selling it and everything surrounding the master recording. If I'm an artist, for example, if I take Kosi and his song, Chile, right? Chill came to him maybe because of that song.
Or maybe he went to Chill.
Right? If Kosi was signed under a label, he has his own label. But if he was signed under a label, the label can argue that deal, they must be concerned because they've used the song, you see. But if, for example, I do a song and let's say MTN, Orange, whichever, without any publicity, comes to me and are interested in me as a person, as a brand ambassador, like without paying a deal with Kosi.
Going to the light of what you're talking about, there are some labels that try to change the personality of some artists. They try to control your way of acting, behaving, even the way you interact with your fans, the way you dress. Yeah, everything is part of the market.
Yes.
So now if Orange comes to me because of the way I laugh on my live, my label manager or boss has the right to tell me to stop living on my live video. Is it true or not? It's a question.
It happened.
Tezo is trying to say is, signing a contract should not be an all-inclusive. So there should be a clear distinction. Like if you're getting brand ambassador deal, this is what you get as a percentage, and this is what the company gets. Because irrespective of the fact that you do just music, they actually own you because they put in a lot, to make you who you are. And the plus is that you know also how to carry yourself, or you put in your own, 2 cents, to being who you are. So in other words, other than the 80-20 or 70-30,
yes,
which is for licensing,
music royalties,
royalties, there should be a different clause in your contract that has to do with your image.
Yes.
So if your image is going to be used for publicity for a brand, there should be a different negotiation. And I believe that contract should be more for the artist and less for the record label.
Is that legal, or it was just your personal opinion of things?
It's my personal opinion, and I think if you go by the way of the law,
I second on it.
If we define what it means as right to image, what is right to image?
You can't really buy that.
I'm a person. This is my image. You get. You've used the exclusive recording agreement is to use my voice and my performance throughout, for this period of time. I'm not supposed to sing for any other person, record for any other person, or perform for another person during this period. That's fine. Now, what about my image? You have not restricted me from maybe playing a role in a movie. And that movie may be a hit, and that could be actually what takes my image to another level. So should the movie production house also come to say that they own my image? And so if I'm getting a deal, but if you're getting a deal now, and let's say you're supposed to do a song, let me say just any song, right? And it's supposed to be used as a jingle for the brand that you want to sign a deal with, then the record label now should be concerned, because you are using their...
Is there any Cameroonian record label that functions like that?
Most don't want to function like that, right? And I think that makes them lazy. It makes them lazy. Because what is your duty? You have to sell music. Don't capitalize on the fact that, I'm going to brand this artist.
Now, do the music come with visuals? Or it's just music?
You have to sell music. Music comes with... Music is music. It's not really about the visuals. It's what you...
Let me
I went somewhere.
Yeah, I know where you're going. Let me come
visuals. Who is in charge of the visual? The record label too.
Yes, let me come into that.
All parts of your visual.
Part of the contract of the record label. Your record label, right? When you're signing a deal, it's telling you, I need 2 EPs, 1 album within 5 years, for example.
7 music videos, 4
and so
media
for all of this, be stated in the contract. We are going to do for these 4 EPs of 5 songs, and this album of 40 songs, we are going to do cumulatively 10 music videos. So that is part of a contract, and which is supposed to be stated. And so within this period of time that we're in a contract, I'm supposed to provide this number of songs. The record label and the 10 videos, I'm supposed to appear in 10 music videos.
You appear with what?
My image.
Now, based on my experience,
yes,
I won't get into details. I'm just talking about the legal limitations of separating the two.
And we should also add here that Tatapong is also a video. Music video director.
And I watched some labels in the past.
And she's the boss of Gearbox Production.
Money is.
I had an experience working with a label where the producer, the artist, him or herself, did not think of anything of him or herself, but us, for example, who would think what she would wear, who would think of the hair she put, who would think of even the way would that. Sometimes directing is giving your personality to an artist. People don't know that. As a director, asking you to do like this, sometimes just this like this can be that point, that climax that can make the video memorable, your image, whatever. Yeah. So I know an artist that everything was covered for her or him. That's image. And to some point, even in his or her career, a particular hairstyle that was chosen by the team was the peak of a particular that even carried, at some point affected even the sound. Now, how do you tell a label who has in the contract to cover visuals that they pay directors who bring in their personality, where they also bring in their designers? For example, Daphne had a designer designing her clothes, who would think everything on how to represent the image for it to fit with the sound they're trying to sell, to legally, in your opinion, divide the two as two different businesses.
I mean, I think in your statement, you've made something for it to fit in the sound they're trying to sell. The objective is to sell a sound. You understand? So all of what they are doing, all of what record labels are doing, the kind of video, the kind of, is to sell a sound because the word is a record.
So do you understand what I'm trying to
I'm understanding. I'm understanding you. But what I'm saying is that, look, in as much as this image, right, that they are using for, let me use the term of the contract, for example. If I sign a contract with you for 5 years, after 5 years, I still have no right to use those songs. Are you aware? Oh, but it doesn't mean, yes, if I sign with you, I've given you the songs for this. After that period, you'll see the one who exploits the song. But me, I still move on as a person with my image. So if a brand ambassador comes, ambassadorial comes at that time, what do I do? Am I going to start thinking about my label? But if somebody wants to use that song, I'll tell her I cannot perform the song. It belongs to this label.
All right. There are also clauses that there are clauses in the contract that can make you perform that song after the contract is done.
Yes.
So it's relative to how you sign your contract. Because after a deal, you can be able to perform those songs without, paying off your former record label, royalties, performance royalties. So coming back to what you're saying, let me rephrase and let me reposition what she's saying. You signed to a record label, and they're supposed to do your music videos. And at the end of the day, you as an artist and as a person, you discover they're going to get one video director that is not giving the artistic direction of that video director. You think is not going to sell you. You think they are going to pay for, they're doing a low budget video for you. How do you come in? Because, like she said, you have your stylist, because you have this image you're protecting. So, is it you now that has to pay your stylist, pay for your hair, pay for your makeup? The label is telling you that, no, that we cannot pay for that extra. If you want to pay for that, that's on you. We have paid a video director. Or at the same time, you're looking and saying, this low budget video director can't actually give us visuals to sell this song as it's supposed to be. How does that come in our contract between artists and the record label? Are we supposed to, in the contract, specify what kind of video directors we should have, or the level of investment for a music video?
As an artist, sometimes that's why it's a negotiation, right? You can state that, okay, I would like that we use this particular video director. If the label agrees, it's an agreement. That's why it's music recording.
I know an artist who has shot the video, who they shot the video, and the artist said, if everybody release that video, I'm out, because it is work. But the record label thinks it's okay.
That's not. If it goes back to the contract and they say that it is both. Most often they say both parties would determine. Most of the things they determine the recording studio they're going to use.
Right.
The video director or artistic direction.
Music producer.
Yes. Most often it's stated that the label will propose, but subject to the approval of the artist. In a contract, you can.
But there's some labels that in collaboration with particular music producers.
Yeah. Now, and which an artist might not feel that producer.
You don't feel, but
then
you're
don't sign.
also.
Then don't sign. Read the contract.
And they can say, I've paid this amount of money already, go and record.
Not record.
Yes.
looking at the landscape of how artists are in Cameroon at this point in time, and as somebody who has understood not just the musical landscape, but the legal landscape, Cameroon has a lot of budding talents who are looking for investments, promotion, direction, creative orientation. Me, for example, I like the upcoming scene in Cameroon. It has really good names, from Fido to Najeme to Black Coco to Jeff to Loic Somfor, Bobo FDG, and a host of others. Looking at the vast array of Cameroonian upcoming artists right now, who are you listening to the most, and who would you propose if you had the chance to propose to a record label to actually sign? Like Loic Somfor is who you're listening to right now, yes. And he's the one you think you could propose to a record label. Why is that?
Because I think his music is kind of universal. He sings songs that if he stands today, even in the embassy, he's going to sing. If he stands in the club, he's going to sing. He's universal.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a large market, Loic is good.
So what kind of contract would suit that kind of an artist?
In as much as he's good, right? No, it depends there. Because in as much as he's good, does he have the finance to take him there? He's good so far.
My question is, what kind of contract will suit an artist like Loic?
It depends on the type of contracts you're looking at.
That's the question.
Either ways, right? I'll not propose that you take what they call 360.
Yes.
Because 360 means you're controlling everything.
Management, distribution, production, everything.
Looking at the Cameroonian context,
Is here. So, Mr. Bliss, is it okay we can state that the synonym of this contract between labels and artists can be called what people think music is a call? Because somehow, when you say they are calls in the industry, because they take you, they control everything you do, even if you're unhappy.
Okay, let me say that I'm also investing. Let me say
that also
let me say this. A record label is one of the most vital things for an artist. There are people like Burna Boy. Burna Boy still signed with PDD, right? What was the kind of contract he signed? Because a lot of people, the issue is what kind of contract you want to sign with whom. As an artist, you're super talented. Talent is never enough. And like I said, an artist who is nobody, who doesn't have as much talent as you, can be taken by or signed by a record label and made that is made superstar.
Exactly.
And let me say this, and I'll say this on camera. Entertainment is placement. For you to sign a contract, identify with a label that can place you. If you don't see the possibility or opportunities that a record label can do or can bring to you, don't sign it. I made a statement a few days ago. I was talking to somebody. Always strive to get a bit out of a lot, other than having a lot out of a bit. In other words, you can have a lot. You're an artist. You own yourself. You have created your own record label, which is just a bit.
You own a 0 of 0.
You own 100%
of nothing.
Of nothing, or even minus. Of which you can be signed to a record label.
Yeah.
And you're taking just 10%.
100, that's true.
But that 10% is giving you 10 million francs a month.
True.
So think about it. If you want to sign as an artist, think about how much you can get a little, or you can get a bit from a lot, than trying to be a lot of almost nothing. That, for me, that is the basis of which an artist should sign to a record label. And so going back to percentages, because we're talking numbers. Let's talk about duration. What do you think is an ideal duration for? I'm not even talking about upcoming. He's not even started coming artists. How do you think a record label should sign an artist, who is upcoming, or some people say up and coming, or who is
yet to be established anyway?
Averagely, Cameroon context, 5 years to me. Because I'm looking at it like the first 2 years, you're investing in the production of the music.
Yeah.
And 3 years, you're invested in selling the artist and the music. After that, the artist is done with you, still have the records. If you actually distributed them well, you're still going to keep on making money as a record label.
A lot of things that boost distribution is performances. And so if you don't have that artist perform for you or perform those songs,
3 years
is difficult. Let me put in from the landscape of Cameroon, right? Take Cameroon context. If I, Mr. Bliss, to sign an artist, I'm going to sign you 10 years. If I can't sign you 10 years, I can't sign you. And I can give you every reason and every explanation. Let me put it this way, and let me be clear about it. If I choose to sign an artist, I'm going to take care of your image. And me signing you is because I should have a track record of somebody. If I tell you I can brand you, I should be able to prove to you that I can brand an individual. I can brand an artist. I should be able to prove to you that I can place you. I should be able to prove to you that I can get tours for you. I should be able to prove to you that I can put you on stages. I should be able to prove to you that I can get collabos for you with artists in the industry that matter. I should be able to show and prove to you that I have financial power other than relationship or connection power, financial power that I can put on you. I should be able to prove to you that I can provide to you a creative space, a space where you can come and manifest and express your creativity. I should give you that liberty to create, and I fine-tune your creation and give your creativity a global output. So, if any artist is wise, if you're looking for a record label, look for that kind of a label. Look for that kind of individuals. Look for those kind of people. Not just the people who says we have been in this thing for 25 years, but there's no track record. You have been signing one artist to another, and you're never finishing a contract with an artist. And I said, myself, why would I take an artist for 10 years? I'll take you for 10 years because I'll tell you I want to invest in you for 5 years. Because I believe as an artist in Cameroon, you cannot produce money for me in 5 years. I can only invest in you in 5 years. And for 5 years of investment, I'm taking you to a global platform, which is the kind of money we will start making from 5 years. Your little or your bit from that a lot will be mighty. And let me even prove this to you. What is 5 years? Think about it. How long is 5 years? People might think it's too much. Think about your favorite artist. How long has your favorite artist been existing? How many songs or how many hits have they produced? How many artists in Cameroon have been able to sustain and hold the music scene for 5 years with hits back to back? How many of them? So when you think in context, you will discover that it is difficult for you to take an artist and sign that artist for 2 years or sign that artist for 5 years if you're a smart music business individual. But then it should be clear and the clause should be clear. And like I said, those things that I just listed, if a music production house or music business or music investor can't provide that for you, I'm sorry, do not sign. If you're an artist, do not sign. And if you want to be a record label, build yourself, build your relationships, build a lot for you to be able to stand and sign an artist. That is my take. And so, with that said, let's move to our other part of music business, and we're going to come after the break.
Drinks and thoughts. Spirited conversations with deep thoughts. We stimulate both minds and palates, mixing drinks and ideas.
All right, welcome back. And if you're just joining us, this is Drinks and Thoughts. We drink and we think and we say what we think. And so if you're watching us wherever you are, you can also contribute on this program by dropping your contributions on our comment sections. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bliss TV, Bliss Entertainment TV, on Facebook, on Twitter, same like on TikTok, so you get a notification and you don't miss any intriguing yet exciting episodes of Drinks and Thoughts. And today we're talking entertainment contracts, binding laws between artists and record labels. Case study, Cameroon, le continent. And so, before we took a break, I was just talking about pointers to look out for, as an artist before you're signing to a record label. And I said, for one, if I want to sign an up and coming artist, I'll go for 10 years. And I gave reasons that. But if you're already established artist, I can sign Kosi, I can sign Gaspo, I can sign Blanche Bailey, I can sign for 5 years because I know where they are and I can get into a deal with them. And I say, hey, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this, and we can get to this other level. And of course, there are also contracts which artists can sign, which is just song-based or album-based. You can sign for a song with a record label. You can also sign an album. Let's say, yeah, I'm signing to produce an album. And most of the times, one of the things people fail to identify then is the difference. A single, an EP, an LP, and an album. Can you just drop in?
So a single basically is the first song that an artist releases. So when I mean first song, doesn't mean it's the first song of their career. A single basically is just a song. Basically, it's like an information of what the artist wants to do. It's just
a projection.
Yes, of this is who I am. An EP is an extended playlist. It's a compilation of a specific amount of songs that an artist is putting out to more or less tell people that this is my story and this is what I'm doing. LP most of the times works for rappers. It's a compilation of songs that were not probably chosen by the record label and then it's actually put out. An album is a body of work that emphasizes everything an artist has done. It has contributions from writers, producers, composers, and the rest. Basically, an album is a work of art that embodies everything an artist has done over a period of time. I remember when Jason Derulo was working on his fourth studio album called Future History, Columbia Records, he recorded 81 songs and 18 was just taken. Davido just recently recorded 62 songs for Timeless, Sony took 17.
And we can also emphasize that Magasco recorded close to 60 songs and is the one and only who has released an album of 30 tracks from Cameroon. Yeah. So he's a record breaker, and I believe there is another album he's about to release and has nothing to do with the other songs that were recorded prior to the release of his album Heart, which was 30 tracks. So one of the most intriguing or exciting, personalities in the life of an artist or in the music business is the artist manager. And most of the times in Cameroon, we know an artist manager is the one who holds the bag, is the one who opens the door for the artist, is the one who answers the call and says $1 million avec billet d'avion ou bien chambre pour deux. And he's the one that, runs around and you always see, and most of the times they're the most popular than the artist. Denzel, you've been an artist manager to close to 4 artists. What is the role of an artist manager?
So,
the role
I will start by saying that
we are carrying back
in Cameroon as a whole, artist managers they are perceived as babysitters. That's what artists want. They want somebody who say, no, forget about that award, we're winning next year. They want a lot of things not associated with. As an artist manager, there are 3 different types of artist managers. From the creative side, the artistic side, to the musical side. The person in charge of music has nothing to do with art. The person for music ensures that if Mr. Bliss is the producer and has to come at 4:30 to record Tezo. He had to be there at 4:30. And Tatapong takes note. The guy in charge of the art takes all of that and knows how to market it to businesses and all the like. An artist manager basically is responsible for the curation, direction, and contribution of an artist's life. Your job is to plan, orientate, and show the artist where you guys are supposed to go to. As an artist manager, it's your job to say, okay, I'm managing Tatapong. Tatapong, what is our Tatapong asked me now, what is the way forward? We have a 5-year plan. First year, we're going to do 4 music videos, an EP, and a media tour. The media tour is going to have 10 radio stations, 7 TV stations. We'll do 15 blocks. Our area of demographic is 18 to 40. Okay, 18 to 40, male and female. Male and female, what do they want at 18 to 40? Male from 18 to 40, they want to make money. Women from 18 to 40, they have heartbreak. So the direction for our music is making money and heartbreak. That is our core unit. That's what we're going to do for the first year. The second year, once we have gotten to that certain point, we say, okay, in the second year now, we want to have 1 million total followers on all social media, from LinkedIn to Twitter to Facebook to everything. What do? We need to host house parties. We need to have pop-up events. We need to have media launches and all of the like. Basically, an artist manager is the guide and the direction for where an artist's career has to metamorphose to. Not to carry bags. The moment your manager is carrying stuff up and down, like
But if you give all those roles to the manager, what would the producer do?
The producer is the person that comes up with the sound.
There's a music producer.
That's the music producer.
Yeah, I mean, different type. Yeah.
You get now. If I am Kosi, Mr. Bliss is my producer. Mr. Bliss will sit and say, Kosi, he wants to sing about
the music producer.
music producer.
What is the executive producer?
The executive
producer, the record is a record label.
Yeah.
is a financier.
Let me just draw. Yes, let me just
Like
draw.
the manager that is
No. The manager comes
No.
up with those plans.
Denzel. Let me just draw a line, because there are words that are used in different aspects of different jurisdictions. For instance, a producer in the movie sector is not necessarily the person that is on the camera or the sound engineer or the editor. That is the person that makes the production happen.
True.
That's the producer. And in music also, there's a lot of people that say they are music producers, which they are beat makers.
Yes.
There's a difference between a beat maker, a music producer, and a sound engineer.
Three completely different things.
You can be a beat maker, you're not a sound engineer.
Exactly.
You can be a beat maker, you're not a producer. The producer is that person that correlates or directs the production of music. He might not be a musician, he might not be a beat maker, but he is the music producer.
A choir master.
He's the person, he's the choir master
Yes,
of the production. So he coordinates. He says, no, take off this one, add this one,
Exactly.
reduce this one, use by this instrument here. For the singers, you have to sing this way for us to have that. But a lot of people embody that. You know, you can be a music producer, you can be a sound engineer at the same time, and you can be a beat maker. You know, so there are people who embody that, but there are different functions.
Okay.
And so that's why even in television, the producer of a program in television is not the same like a producer in movies. So there are words that are used differently in the different walks of life. And so going to what Denzel was saying, by the time you say you're a manager, you start carrying bags, you are no more the manager, you are the PA.
You're an assistant.
And let's also get this straight and right, Tezo. An artist manager is signed by an artist and not the record label.
Yes.
Officially.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it is not obligatory for the record label to impose a manager on the artist.
It's not obligatory. It's not. Because going back to what Denzel has explained, right? It's a person who's working with the artist. And the artist may finish from this record label and move to another record label with the same manager. Yes.
Right.
Now, the most labels want to impose. That's the truth. It always happens. That's another issue in contract. That labels always have issues with artists. I've had 2 or 3 cases like that where the artist is saying that, no, I have my manager.
And you know, most of the times, in our context, we have found a lot of artists who have lost it in their careers because of their managers.
That's the I was trying to say, because of the manager.
artists believe that this is my day one G.
Yeah.
He's my man. He's supposed to be my manager because he's my best friend or because he's my brother. He's supposed to be my manager. And so, as Denzel is defining the roles of you define the roles of a manager, I think we should have that in consideration before choosing who a manager is.
So even if it's your guy, make sure he's doing those things.
Exactly. And so the label might be imposing a manager on you because the belief, maybe this person you're calling because you're the 1G.
Because of your failure.
Cannot be, And let me also add this. A manager, other than all of that, is a person who should be highly connected. It's a person who can make phone calls. It's a person who knows gigs. It's a person who knows bookers, who knows about event organizers, who knows about people in companies, Being an artist manager is not a passionate job. It's a job that you work your way into becoming a manager. You cannot be a manager and you don't have a Canada address. That you can't score DJs. You don't know DJs. You don't know radio animators. You don't know TV animators or producers.
In addition to the carnet, there's a particular state of mind a manager needs to have. There's some managers that have more anger issues than the artists. They're fighting online. They're fighting like that. They have problems with. Yeah, the manager that get pissed because he got disrespected. He gets somewhere. Okay, they've served him. Managers, please continue. We have 3-star managers out here who get to the club and respect the club because they were served something without paying her because they are sitting in the name of the artist.
Most artists
for you a lot of things.
Most artists who have have made it, little or nothing is known about their managers. You don't find them everywhere on social media. You don't find them posting pictures more than their artists. You don't find them, mumbling. You see an artist coming to perform and you see the manager, you risk taking the manager to perform, than the artist. And then
that works. No, outside that works. In Cameroon, it does not work because our artists have a tendency of disrespecting everybody around them except the person who pays for their career. Like you said, a lot of guys who have worked with people from way back is because of the connection that they actually have. A lot of artists have succeeded today with managers who did 90% of the work, but they went somewhere else. And you can see where their career has gone to. I have friends who are managers who still have login details to what their artists are doing now. They literally can sit and look at the artist chatting with ABC and they don't do anything to sabotage their career because that's not who they are. Cameroonian artists have a problem with empowering people in their circle. How do you live here for a world tour, African tour, and you're going low? That does not say, it's not just about you, it's about Cameroon as a whole. When Nigerians were...
The problem is never going alone. Who do you even go with?
During the 2015 MTV African Music Award, Nigerian artists who were booked chartered a 200-seater flight with their team and they went for mamas. People from Cameroon came 2 and 3. One person came with his baba. How does the baba...
We did Simfest. Denzel, we did Simfest, the Cameroon International Film Festival in Boya. And an artist came with his baba. We did the festival, the Simpsons. And they come in his hair. He came with his baba.
And they come in the baba's hair.
Another artist came with his wife and children.
How do you reconcile? It's not very professional. Okay, I've had experiences where we are going for a media tour. An artist comes with his girlfriend and then comes with the girlfriend's younger sister. Now there's no space in the car for backup dancers. Now there's a problem. There is so much that is wrong that if it's just to explain, we need 3 or 4 more.
Anyways, we are about wrapping up the program, but I like us to situate, and prick our brains and prick our minds and our thoughts on some few record labels and their evolution. Whilst we wrap up, let's take the case of Steven's Music. Steven's Music began with Gasha. And we knew Gasha was making it and went for a tour in the US and went silent. And after a year or 2, Gasha came back and it was done. And we don't know what happened between Gasha and Stevens. Stevens Music got Daphne. And bam, Daphne hit. It was great. And we knew, okay, Stevens Music is the future. But then Stevens Music signed Shura, Steven's Music signed Ewube. Steven's Music had M-Pro, who never went pro. Steven's Music signed Boytak, and his tag team, which we have not seen them evade or have any tag history over the past years. What can you say could be the problem with Steven Music and its artists, Denzel?
I think the first problem is that I don't think Steven's Music had a working model. I think what happened with Daphne surprised them, and then from there they were able to build up or something. I don't think the failure to replicate what happened with Daphne is because there was no plan in the first place. It just happened. You cannot have 5 artists and 3 of them are females, and you cannot replicate and duplicate the same artist.
And I should also add that they just signed another artist.
Sepo actually performed at the first edition of our award, which was independent. Sepo actually got
that is the Cameroon Music Evolution
Sepo
Award.
actually got seen by some scouts at the Cameroon Music Evolution Awards 2021 at Canal Olympia. That was where she got seen and then got signed. Now, Sepo sounds more Daphne than Daphne. I also remember that when they signed Ewube, they were trying to make Ewube.
Yeah, and Ewube released an album, of which the album launch was at Paradis nightclub. And after that album, nothing was said about the release of that album in that.
Well, we're releasing an album first of all in a nightclub. We should wait to start from there first.
There was a live band in the nightclub.
In the nightclub. I have never... I think this is why Cameroon is a continent on its own, because rules really do not apply here. Like, we are just different. Steven's Music do not have a working model in the sense that Daphne is ultra... I still do not think after Daphne we've had a successful female artist. Blanche has...
In her generation.
Blanche has done really well. Since Blanche gave birth, Blanche...
Renew.
No, Renew has a long way to go.
Renew is a budding celebrity.
Daphne is known in places in the US where when you look at Steven's Music and those that actually operated, they have a fully functional record label. There's an A&R, artists and repertoire. Then is a communication sector. They have an entire breakdown. But how do you sign 5 people over a 10-year period and none of them can mimic the success of the premier artist? Before Daphne was signed to Stevie, she was on No Is No Records, owned by President Nobby. She was going somewhere, but they had to
when they did Rastafari.
Exactly. They traded her off, got money, and then invested in rhythm. Now, Steven's Music, I think, first of all, has a problem with lack of structure. They have a problem of choosing songs, and they have a problem identifying their core audience. How do you take Boyta, who is a rapper, and you want to put him in the same demographic as Shura? They cannot go.
It's the same like taking Ewube, who is a dancehall artist, and changing her sound.
Exactly.
And because from the time Ewube got signed, we could no longer see that Ewube that we knew about. She lost her sound, and after the album was released, nothing happened. And
asked for her release, and she left.
Same thing with Shura.
You asked for a release and left.
There is M-Pro, which we don't know about him, and there is Boyta, which at every moment we think he's about coming and he's not coming.
Boyta had a collaboration with Happy when Chappy was hot.
Yes.
The song did not still go anywhere.
So does it mean, so we conclude that Daphne is blessed or Steven's Music actually don't know how to do the music business?
50-50. Daphne is blessed, and those who were put on Daphne's project knew what they were doing.
E.g. Salatier, Mr. Leo,
and Perluma.
Perluma,
who is the manager?
Perluma, who is the manager? Is Perluma Daphne's manager or a manager for the record label?
She was the manager for Daphne. The manager for Stevie's was Daphne's younger sister called Pearl.
Okay.
I think that's
no. Daphne's younger sister is not Pearl. Pearl is Daphne's manager.
Sorry, Perluma. Daphne's younger sister happened to be manager for the other artists. I've forgotten her name.
But by another Perluma too has been managing other artists in Stevens. Boytak.
She worked with some artists, and then she and Daphne became really close. Now, when Daphne was made here, she brought in her younger sister. She did. Now, Daphne brought in her younger sister. No. Daphne's younger sister is. Now, Pearl would do consultancy when there was a problem. For example, they would say, Pearl, we want to do ABC for Shura. It's not going. What did you do for Daphne for this to move? She would give them ideas. Okay. I also found it funny that Daphne kept traveling around the world, but lots of...
Yes, was traveling with Pearl.
None of their own artists were there too.
Because Daphne was the most booked. We've seen Daphne filled up stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
And we've seen Daphne. Daphne was jury for the voice skits.
Yes.
And Daphne's kid sister, Dodo, you're talking about.
Dodo.
She's manager for this artist signed to Kankwintu's music?
To manage him. I think they even had something before they became manager. Jahem. Remy Nas is called.
Formerly Jahem.
Jahem of BPN Records, who wanted a house and a villa. Yes, him.
Oh, okay. Those are part of his conditions to be signed. I guess.
No, he asked that
Kankwintu's
from the
music.
former label, and the guy said he will not. He was signed by DJ Takeaway
Okay.
of BMP. The demand did not really make some sense, and they decided to part ways.
And so he got to Kankwintu's.
I don't know if they give him the house and the car.
Oh, wow. Artists and record labels. Can we talk a bit about Alpha Beta Record?
Yeah.
Alpha Beta Record was like the future.
True.
Qu'est-ce qui n'a pas marché? We should ask them the same question they were asking us in the song. What happened to a record label when you have Salatier, excellent music producer, Mr. Liu, great songwriter, Bliss, Aquando, excellent music producer, and it should be noted that he produced most of the hits for Mr. Liu.
Askia.
And
Big Joe.
Askia. So what do you think was the problem with Alpha Beta Records?
I think Alpha Beta Records was succeeding as long as Salatel was in the band. I think Alpha Beta Records succeeded with Salatel as an executive rather than an artist and a producer. The moment Salatel started writing songs for himself, I would even go as far as saying that Salatel writing songs for himself is one of the causes of Daphne's hiatus from music, because again,
Are you talking about Salater writing songs for himself or Salater coming out as an independent artist?
as an independent artist,
Yeah,
again,
because he has been writing songs like
True.
forever.
as an executive, I think he did better because he was able to sit down and see. Salater suspended his career for a very long time to push Leo. And then when Leo stood, they brought in Leslie, and the same thing happened. You saw what happened when Leo and Salas teamed up to write Calais for Daphne. Did the same for Blanche. I think when Salater decided to say, okay, I am done being an entertainment executive, I'm going to become an artist now. I think when he took off the executive hat and became an artist, everything went haywire. Because Salater used the contacts and the people he knew within the media sphere for everything that was done now for himself. I think these guys also lacked certain level of artistic direction. I think Salater has that foresight and foresight for what is going to work, what will not work, and what actually work. Look at the track record of hit songs they have done, from Daphne to Blanche to a host Numerica to a host of others. But when he decided that, okay, you know what, it's okay.
I want to concentrate on me.
I think he killed Alpha Beta Records because the artists who depended on his creative direction for their career to move to the next point failed.
So is it wise to come back to, there's a statement I make once which I believe that the problem we're having with record labels in Cameroon is the fact that every artist wants to own a record label, and artist signing artists can have a conflict of interest, Tezo.
Artists signing artists having a conflict of interest. If we look at even at in the Western world, right, we have artists who are signing artists.
I'm talking about Cameroon.
Yes, I'll come back to Cameroon. Yeah, we have artists who are signing.
Yeah, the Jay-Z's, they signed the Birdman, you know,
it's not
they
an
could
issue.
sign
In
Jay-Z.
Cameroon, I think that it's just that as an artist, if you're signing an artist, you should understand that you are now operating as a record label, and understand your role as a record label. You know, what are you supposed to do for this artist? It's not.
Especially if the artist himself has never even blown.
You know, you've done it. Yes, you're an artist. You already have a name that people know. Now you want to start signing. The truth is, I believe artist signing artists is a means of sustainability. Because let me explain. Because they've done what they can do, and they're like, look, I'm going out of business. How do I stay relevant? I need people that I'm going to own the copyrights. I'm going to have a share. These are new people, new voices. Let me sign other artists. It's like a footballer who goes on retirement and decides to own a football club.
No, but they're not on retirement.
They're not retirement, but they're
Let me
not
stop.
relevant.
Okay, let me, if you're using the sports, we can talk about Luke Amute, who in the peak of his career came and did a boot camp of which he got Embiid, and of course he got Pascal Siakam, who are now in the NBA. He was in active service. He's just retired. But it's different. He's coming from a certain level, you know, to come and scout, you know, for young talent. It's different with the fact that you're owning a record label. You say you're signing people. And when they say, hey, you're signing this person, the next thing you say, I was trying to help. But you're not helping somebody by signing that person's business deal.
Let me use somebody like Don Jazzy.
Yes.
Don Jazzy, he has been a good artist. I mean, he's done his own thing as an artist, you see. And now he looks at it and is like,
You're still going to my point. Say he has done. Most of the artists signing are active artists.
they're active, right?
Yeah, but
But the problem is that the industry is evolving. It's evolving. New genres of music are coming in. Younger artists are coming with. There was a time when it was this guy what's his name? Naira Marley. He came with his own genre and so on. And then you know, Olamide got
Shaker.
the other guy too. It was like, and it's like, okay, Olamide, let me go behind. Let me get people.
But our artists are not trying to even go behind. Let me tell you something.
That's what I'm saying. That the moment they don't understand, right, that okay, what you're doing now is that it's like you're retreating to give a place to another person. It will always be.
There's one module that I think has worked in Cameroon, which is called the Petit Pays module, and the Sound Visa.
Yes.
Of which it is different when Petit Pays and his Sound Visa was like an academy.
Yeah.
That you guys come and tell you, and then you go and become independent. It's different, like all of these artists trying to sign artists. And I still hold on to the fact, I said, Cameroon artists are not at that place where
I don't
they
think
can
it's a
sign
good
artists.
idea. Not just at the Cameroon. I think the only person who has succeeded as a former artist to sign people. And in my opinion,
You are saying former
artist, and in my opinion, I think the best record label is Empire Company. I think Pete Bakadi has understood the music business, the music structure, and has built a musical infrastructure. There are certain things that certain people will do at certain levels, on certain record labels, that when you look at Pete Bakadi, it's possible that this one might actually beat you up, and then you actually sit upright. Look at the track record. I think things even changed in Cameroon when Pete signed Charlotte the Panda.
Wow. All right. Pete Bakadze and Empire Company is a great example because Pete Bakadze actually understands the music business.
And he's a former artist.
And
He plays on it.
yes, he's a former artist. But the fun is that he was feeding off on the ignorance. True.
He masters the
Artists.
business.
He was feeding off.
There's exploitation in every business.
So I'm trying to say he understood the music business and he knew how he could take a naive artist and take every royalty from those artists.
Barrister,
And the artists were not getting,
Barrister, why is it that every artist that leaves Mavins, you don't hear them? We're not going to talk about that because it's Don Jazzy. Ricardo Banks has 4 remixes of the best songs that you don't even hear it on the radio. Korede Bello released an EP of really incredible songs. You haven't heard it. DJ did a concert it was not even, the ticket sales were so bad that I had to refund people's money. But these are his artists.
good.
I think from my observation with Marvin, they came in as a group before creating their individual personality. And that's why today this latest girl that is with Marvin now, with Don Jersey, she's doing it here because she comes alone.
She's from the academy.
They had the chance to see her standing solo for a long while. You discover the others in a group and it's difficult. That's why in that group, Tiwa Savage should always be.
No, Tiwa Savage was no.
Because
She was not in the group.
No, she was not in the group. No.
that is why in that group, please. Group means when we see them together, Tiwa always stood out because we understood the image of Tiwa. She created a Tiwa Savage brand before she mixed with the crowd. The rest they created themselves in that crowd. So it's not difficult for them to individually. It takes a lot of time.
And let me say something. Music business is actually business.
That's what
And you stop being a product when you become irrelevant. There is evolution. And if you don't evolve, I don't think there's nobody who left Marvins and who is lamenting.
No.
Ricardo is not saying, "Oh, Don Jazzy left me stranded." He did all he could do for you within the period, and he says he's done. He's moving on with next people. So it's about you, how much you're going to feed off of what he has done.
I was really enjoying
It's the same like I'll still come back to Petit Pays and the Sound Visa.
Yeah.
When the Sound Visa was there, you started hearing the Philippe Hiroshima, you were hearing Samit Ziko, the Jore, the Mathematic,
goodness.
there was Samantha Four. You will hear a lot of them and they stood out and they made their names out of the Sound
And in
Visa.
their names, they always attach Petit Pays. Mathematic,
And you see, when you see the Jores, they will still always give reverence to Petit Pays. It's the same like Quartier Latin of Kofi Olomide, where the Fally Ipupas are coming from.
And I think that's the online Alpha Beta record, where he did that. At some point, he wants to focus on himself.
The difference.
And everybody part and now wants to create their own.
The difference with Alpha Beta record is that he didn't discover these people as anonymous.
That's true.
They were already having a name and having a brand, and then he brought them together and said, "Let's move, let's move." But
I think except for Leo, that was in the choir, but Bless was already established.
No, for Alpha Beta record.
Yeah, Bless and Alpha Beta record.
No, Bless was
Bless and Salatiel.
Limbe, you're specific. American Marina knew
Bless B, Salatiel, Rude Boy, and Cynthia. They were in the group Datril,
yes.
Which Datril actually won Tufan in the Nescafe Africa Revelation competition. They actually won the Tufans, which the Tufans have become superstars, but Datril was killed. Story for another day. Same like Bam,
Oh, Bam.
Story for another day. And so we're rounding up the program. Tezo, what advice do you have for record labels and for artists, before they get into any deal? The last words.
It's basic that you should understand what you're getting into, right? You should understand and accept it, that this is what I'm actually doing. The need is that when people are coming to an agreement, you, the record label, what are you bringing on the table and what do you expect to get?
Right.
Be intentional about it. Don't just be guessing, just do it because everybody is doing it. Same thing for the artist. If the record label approaches you or whoever brings you to the record label, they present you a contract. Read it. Be intentional. Understand it. Don't just there's a reason why it's written down. Any ambiguity, no matter how small the ambiguity is, don't sign. If you don't, understand it, you can meet someone who understands, interpretation of contracts and all of that to explain to you there's nothing wrong in it before you sign. Because at the end of the day, that's a document that's going to carry you through for that period of time. It is the contract. They say the contract is the law of the parties. As long as there's no clause in the contract that is illegal, every other thing is binding. So that's the greatest advice I can tell them.
Well, thanks very much for this insightful conversation we had, Tatapong.
Yeah, I'm in the same light with the lawyer. Yeah. And I would love maybe to advise the artists and the labels to respect each other, because there's a written part and there's that connection and familiarity that begins to develop in time. So whatever the familiarity may be, they should respect the professional part and try to make the difference between professionality and family. I think it will help a lot. Yeah.
Denzel?
I think we should find a way to sensitize artists and record label owners on the pros and cons of what actually gets
organized to.
We'll use Bliss International Holdings as a platform using Bliss TV. I think they're going to come. I know a certain Mr. Bliss, who is an entertainment executive, can be able to move parts around. He's an influencer of influencers.
Thank you very much. That's how we had it today on the program. Tezo Abanda of Edenet Lawyers will say you can contact him if you have entertainment problems and you have contract issues. You want to be able to pen down a contract that is going to be able to be in context, with artists you're producing, or if you're just an artist, you can consult him, and of course, it's Beat Services. Thanks very much. Until another episode of Drinks and Thoughts. Thank you. Thank you, our team. Thanks, our crew. Antilio, Nene, Rosney, and every other person in the technical crew.
Shout out to the fan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
On this show, every thought is worth a shot. Drinks and Thoughts. It's Fizzy.